One thing we've learned in this quarantine COVID-19 situation is that there's a lot of really cool people out there in the world. You hear every day about how the teachers are still teaching, the education process is still continuing. You hear about the hospital workers are spending day and night healing people and being there medically. You hear about how parents are taking on multiple roles, wearing way more hats than they used to wear or ever thought about wearing now that they're homeschooling their children, as well as doing their own jobs and maintaining the household. But one thing we really don't see a lot of is how the kids are feeling. And I found that while their roles are muted, they are so very important, because everyone else, all that we're doing for these kids. We're doing for our families. And so I think it's really important to catch a glimpse of what the kids are experiencing and what our children are really going through and how they're internalizing this situation. These kids, they really need to get their thoughts out. So what we did with National Junior Honor Society is we are listening to the kids. We're listening to the students kind of tell their perspectives and summarize what their view is on this COVID-19 situation, and based on what they've been exposed to and what they're experiencing, what their general thoughts are about it.
I've been at home what feels like forever. I understand why we are home. We are home to keep me safe, to keep my family, grandparents, neighbors, and friends safe. We have all had to give up things special to us, and that takes a lot of understanding. During this time, I've had celebrated my birthday, celebrated Easter, and not been able to see my friends or go to school. Everyone is going through this. They are making adjustments to their celebrations and their daily lives. It takes a lot of understanding. Stay safe and healthy, stay connected with friends and family, and have a little understanding.
I used to think that adaptation only took place in the wild with animals trying to survive, but recently I learned that we as a people also adapt. We've had to change the way we live our lives in order to survive. We have gone from seeing our friends and family every day at school or work or going to their houses even, and now we barely leave our homes and we only talk to them through our devices. Adaptation is a very important part of our lives and an important part of the wild. I didn't realize that before, and now I do, because of COVID-19.
I have realized that our community has stepped up and has come together to help one another through these difficult times of the coronavirus.
I'm stressed through this whole thing. My family is, I am. Even when we're going to the store, it can be very stressful. We're missing all of our family, and we're stressed for our grandparents and hoping that they stay safe, and we hope that they're going to be okay. I'm stressed with some schoolwork, all of it piling up on me, and it can be hard, but we are going to get through this. So,
throughout my life, I've always considered myself to be more of an introvert. However, throughout this quarantine, I've realized that in fact, I'm actually much more of an extrovert. And I really, really, truly miss human connection and socialization with people. And I've learned that that's kind of what motivates me throughout my school day. And I really miss all of my friends, I miss my teachers, and I miss being able to talk to my friends and be involved in theater and show choir. And once that's all been stripped away from me, I realized that actually being alone is very lonely, and I really, really miss everyone.
I've learned so many great things about my community during the coronavirus shutdown. It is hard to keep all of our heads up during this time, but my community has been persevering great. And also around the downtown area, there are a bunch of inspirational quotes, little heart drawings, smiley faces, just to make you smile and remind you that we are all going to be okay.
For me personally, because of quarantine, together means being able to spend more time with my family and my nephew, who will be 11 months old on Monday. For my family, it means going grocery shopping for my grandparents, who are at high risk of getting COVID. It also means coming together for a Zoom meeting for my granny's 91st birthday. It made her feel more connected and let her see her loved ones on her big day. For my school, it means teachers and students working with each other to find out online learning, which has been hard for everyone. This pandemic has been scary for everyone. No one's felt okay during it, but we can beat it. But the first part to beating it is working together.
So I have noticed a significant difference between education online and education offline. It's much harder to get motivated to do the work as it is in public school because I don't have someone telling me to do it that day because it's not due that day. We have like a full week and late counts don't work, so it's really hard to get that motivation to do that early instead of late. But one of the positives is I really like sleeping in. It's gotten me to get all the sleep that I haven't gotten, but that also messed up my sleeping schedule. So it's been a roller coaster for education online, but it's been a new experience and I wouldn't trade it.
During this quarantine period, I have learned the importance of sacrifice. I, along with many others, were directed to stay home and only leave the house when absolutely necessary. Many things I was looking forward to, like AAU basketball, spring soccer, my confirmation, and school, were canceled. I was frustrated at first, but now after quarantining for 46 days, I recognized and understood the real reason for all of this. It's not designed for people to be frustrated and overwhelmed. It is for us to help our world fight through the pandemic. We have stayed home in order for our hospitals to be able to help all of the people who are ill with the virus. We have stayed home so that the people who could be seriously at risk if they caught the virus could be saved. It is important to think of others and sacrifice your fun so that others can live to have fun.
A way my community has been willful is by providing those in need with food and other supplies. I think this is a great way to help the community get through the pandemic. Most importantly, our country's medical field are willing to treat people with COVID-19, even though they are risking their lives to save others.
I learned about how aware everyone has been to one another. They have been wearing masks, staying home, and especially keeping their distance. Everyone has been aware of themselves as well as one another to keep this country as healthy as possible. That is why I chose the word considerate. Everyone is being considerate to help our community and country, as well as the world, become a safer and healthier place to be and live.
These past few months have taken a toll on our everyday lives and have distanced us from our families and friends. But what I have found about myself and our community through all this doubt are things that I am thankful for. I am thankful for our use of everyday technology, which has allowed us to connect with our friends and family during these times of crisis. I am so thankful for the amazing people we have here, not just in Madison, but everyone in Ohio, who have helped all of us get what we need and who are serving everyone and making items like masks, lunches, and signs that spread hope amongst us all that we can conquer this together. And last, but certainly not least, I am so very thankful for all our frontline workers who are helping us stay healthy and are providing us with the care we need to stop the spread of COVID-19. For every frontline worker, I am eternally grateful and thankful for all that you do as you continue to help us day by day. Those are only a few of the many things I, and I'm sure the community of Madison, are thankful for.
Connection has taught me that most people do better around others. Having friends and family fulfills a natural human need to belong, to feel supported, valued, and socially connected to others. Relationships give us a sense of belonging in a group, and it is a good reason not to feel lonely. I think COVID-19 has taught the country as well as the world how important connection is. To stay in touch with each other, but in a safe and reasonable way.
In a time of crisis, people tend to panic, sometimes too little, sometimes too much. And during coronavirus, we've seen that a lot. We've seen things that people wouldn't normally be doing and stockpiling things that people normally wouldn't be stockpiling. And sometimes people tend to miss out on the important things like family, food, water, and other essential needs. But overall, we can usually take over the panic and then we can settle things rationally.
During quarantine, my community has really realized what teamwork is. They have been working as a team to help one another. Many people in my community have been helping each other by giving each other food and clothes during this hard time.
What I've learned about the entire community is that our first responders are persevering through this entire COVID-19 chaos. We're changing for the better, like pollution's cutting down, and we're getting stronger. So we're persevering.
The coronavirus has taught me about the importance of being self-reliant, that we need to make sure that we have the right food at our house so that we can sustain ourselves until the next time we can go to the store. For me, it's been especially hard because I have to make sure that I have safe foods and that I also have the right amount of medication so that I don't have to go to the emergency room in the case of an allergic reaction, because that's the last place I want to be in this situation. I've also learned about the importance of time management so that I can make sure that I get all of my work done on time and that I can make sure that it is done with as much effort as needed and as I feel it deserves. The coronavirus has taught me about how I need to be reliant on my own ways of entertaining myself, because staying at home, it can be kind of boring. So I can now turn to my books and other sorts of imagination to distract myself.
I've never been so physically cut off from the world. In this crazy time, we've all come together to try and make things better. Our families, co-workers, teachers, and our friends have all come together. One day we will all be back in action with events. If we didn't come together like we did, we would never come to an end in this worldwide issue. We may have not gotten out of it yet, but it's like a movie. We never know how it's going to end when we're in the middle of the movie. But when we work together, we may just have a happy ending.
And over this quarantine, I've learned how important being responsible is. Because of all this, I've learned that I'm not a very responsible person, and I'm trying to work on that during quarantine. And I got braces before all of this, so now I have to brush my teeth and floss 4 times every day. I mean, it was hard to get used to, but when I did, everything was fine.
I chose this word because I have seen how strong our community and country has become, and I know that we can power through all this. I feel that we've all become united and stronger together these past few months. It has shown me that whatever is thrown our way, we'll get through it together. Thankfully, in this day and age, we can use our technology to keep in touch with our friends and family. Virus is just another obstacle thrown in our way that we have to overcome. And I have no doubt in my mind that we can't do just that. It is tough to have to stay away from our friends and family, but this country has shown me that we are strong and we will get through this, that all will be well. I'm proud of our country and how strong it's become, and I have a lookout for a brighter and better future for everyone.
I feel like everybody during this crisis that we're going through is working as a team, especially the EMS, the firefighters, and the police. They're all working as a team. Scientists, doctors, everyone's been working as a team together to try to get this and put this to an end, to get a vaccination and to end this. I feel like my community and everyone else around us has been working as a team to help each other, to protect each other, to make sure that nobody gets this illness. And I think everyone working as a team and involving teamwork is the greatest thing that we can do, because everyone's working as a team to help each other out.
During this coronavirus epidemic, I have noticed how many people are going to parks. I never realized how many new parks were close to us. Not only that, they are close, but are also super beautiful. Our family has been going to new parks almost every day. You can do so many different things like biking, walking, running, also hiking. Not only are people enjoying these parks, but also dogs too. This is a great way and a great opportunity to get outside and see all of the nature around us.
During this quarantine, I've really learned that it is super important to be respecting medical professionals, doctors, respiratory therapists, nurses. I think it's important to respect them because they're out there risking their lives, trying to keep people safe, and there are still people out there who are being super rude to them or not thanking them or just not even trying. They're not wearing masks. They're not trying to protect themselves. They're just out there.
The word that I've chosen to describe my message is hope, because we all need to have hope while we're all going through all of this.
People are going out there and risking their lives every day to go and help others. Every day. We hope that everyone can be together soon and not have to stand 6 feet apart. And we hope that this will all go away. We hope that everyone stays safe. All we have to do is hope. And if we hope and work together, we can resolve this.
Even though the circumstances might not be the greatest, and even though we can't see each other, we still can work together. We as people in our family, schools, communities, and country, and across the world need to rise up and work together to help fight the coronavirus. Because when we work together, we can accomplish anything, such as finding a cure, saving lives, and to help prevent this from ever happening again.
The one thing I've learned about myself during this whole shutdown is patience, because you have to have patience to deal with your parents, siblings 24 hours a day, okay? And patience for restaurants to open back up, and for me, softball, all the kids that are struggling, and you just need to take a step back. Remember, in this crisis, you have to have patience with them. So yeah, one of the main things that this country have learned during this whole pandemic and shutdown is patience.
Now I picked this because of how unprepared our country and other countries were. It's said that companies are making plenty of medical instruments that should keep us all safe, but then immediately once this virus is supposed to go to all countries, news channels immediately start popping up about how we don't have enough masks. I personally think that really only China was prepared for this, because they may have already known that there were labs like this, but still I feel like we could have done better as a country and as a community.
What I have learned about my community is that even though we're apart, we're still together. For example, birthday parties. You can't have them, right? So instead, we do drive-bys sometimes, where you just drive by your family or friend's house and say happy birthday. Maybe give them a gift. And what I've learned about myself is that there's some things I thought were boring, but now can't do them. So I sadly do miss them.
Quarantine has showed me how individualistic and how independent I really am. I've known I was pretty independent before, but this quarantine has just showed me how independent I actually am. And I'm pretty self-reliant, which is good because I'm able to achieve things by myself and I'm able to succeed without having to rely on others and other people doing all my work. For example, in school projects and schoolwork, especially in quarantine when I have really no one else to work with, I've been able to achieve things by myself. I've just been independent and I've been getting things done, getting A's. And I don't have to worry about what other people are doing and if they're doing their work or their side of the project. And just being independent has helped me succeed. And overall, quarantine has just really showed me how I don't need others to get things done.
During this time, I have learned the importance of family. I'm using this time to spend quality time with my parents. We don't have to worry about our busy schedule. We are using this time to do games, take walks at work where we never had before, watch the movies, sit together, and even cook. This is a time to draw closer to your family.
I have become more resilient during this pandemic because I have completely adjusted my life and the way I am learning and completing school. I am helping my 9-year-old brother with school because both of my parents are essential workers, so they have to go to work most days. Although I can't practice with my sports teams, we are doing workouts on Zoom. Even though I can't see my friends, we are able to FaceTime and sometimes even go to their houses and do driveway visits. Our school workers who are wearing masks and packing up and serving lunches to kids and people who need them. Our small local businesses are taking phone and online orders to continue to serve the community and keep their business going. Our teachers and school staff are being resilient and finding ways to teach us and keep us motivated. Many pastors and churches are finding ways to have online church so that we can still worship and attend. There are so many examples of being resilient during this pandemic. It's very inspiring.
Through COVID-19, I learned that our country is really supportive of everyone, whether it is students, teachers, or essential workers. People of all ages are spreading kindness, showing support, and sending positive messages to those who are working by either putting hearts and rainbows in their windows or sending out cards to bring a smile to their faces. Through this, I have also learned that even the smallest act of kindness can bring so much joy to those who need it. COVID-19 has brought people together from all over the world as this virus has touched everyone in some way. I've watched videos of people playing music from their balconies and clapping as the medical workers change shifts. Even though we are not able to connect in person, we can still connect through video calls and other positive messages. Seeing all of these positive and kind acts has been really inspiring to me through these difficult times.
This is what I learned from COVID-19, the importance of safety. First, wear a mask. Second, don't touch your face. Third, wash your hands for 20 seconds. Fourth, social distance. And fifth, stay home.
Ever since quarantine, I started learning that I'm really good at painting, so I wrote creativity because I started painting and I'm like, okay, I'm really good at this, so I can do pretty good things with a paintbrush in my hand. And it's kind of fun for me to do that. It's kind of something that helps me. That's what I learned about myself in quarantine.
This fourth quarter of the school year has been really, really weird and different, but I kind of like it. The school year has been all online and it was kind of cool. I do miss my friends though. And all the online work has been pretty easy. And my teachers are really helping me with stuff I do need help with. It's really cool having them just be there, and they must be having a really difficult time though, and they're doing good. They have their own personal lives that they have to take care of their own kids, but they still find time to help us. It's really impressive, and I think the teachers are doing a great job.
And the word that I chose to describe this COVID-19 shutdown is teamwork, because it's bringing people in their communities together, and people are helping each other, making masks for each other, and others fast food restaurants are making food for people who are in need of it. And also communities are coming together and making a point that there are still people working, and they're thanking the people who are still working during this time.
So one thing I learned about myself during quarantine is that I've become more independent than I usually am, because I've been doing a lot more on my own and without a lot of help, because during this teachers can't help you 24/7 because they obviously have stuff to do other than school. I just feel like I've become a lot more motivated to do stuff, wake up on time and actually do my work and get it done on time.
We really just got together during Corona and supported one another, and we gave back to the people. We gave to food banks. We helped the medical professions and the people who were still working. We started helping out. We tried to stay home so that the medical professions weren't overworked. We tried not to make big fits over stupid stuff. We tried to support one another. We tried to help our neighbors. We just tried to be the best people we could. And that's why we are a community, because we just help one another.
And I'm here to show you 3 interesting facts on the coronavirus. "5,000 coronavirus can fit on 1 grain of sugar." The coronavirus can spread very quickly and is very contagious. The colder it gets, the bigger it is, and the drier it is, the smaller it gets.
I would usually be doing this in front of people, but instead I'm doing it in front of my phone, at my house and not at school. I have learned that our country is being careful on how the virus is spreading. We are wearing masks and gloves and washing our hands to keep us safe. People are supporting small businesses and still keeping their distance. The leaders of the sports community took caution by canceling sports to keep players and coaches safe. Also, there are no big gatherings such as graduations to keep people out of contact with the virus. Schools were closed to keep students and staff safe. We got this.
One thing that I've learned through this coronavirus pandemic is to have a lot of courage. Courage is needed to get through daily life. For all of our healthcare workers, they have to have a lot of courage to show up to work every day, even though they have a high risk of getting sick. Another thing that I've learned is not to take anything for granted, because most of us don't really have anything to do right now, so we're just stuck inside doing our schoolwork. So courage is one main part that you're going to need to strive and have successful results after this quarantine.
I chose the word imagination because I have all this extra time and no sports or activities like I usually do. I've used my imagination to build a fort. I used a bunch of blankets and things I found in our game room. I had a sleeping area and a video game area. I've been practicing my sports, including baseball and basketball, without a team. I do drills, hitting, and shooting. I've organized my room without being asked. I organized my backpacks, my sock collection, and my trophies. I've done puzzles with my family. One of them was 1,000 pieces. We've also played board games. We liked Risk the most.
During this quarantine, I've learned that I'm really determined to finish things because me and my dad are building a chicken coop, and every day since we started building it, I've been begging him to finish it, even though we don't have the chickens yet. And every day when he comes home from work, while he's packing for the next day of work, I start building the chicken coop. And to me, I believe that shows determination. And even if my dad doesn't want me to work on it, I work on it anyway because I want to finish it, just so that we can be ready for when we actually get the chickens. And that, I believe, shows determination.
And if there's one thing I've learned through this quarantine, it's that people are very creative in the things that they do. First of all, with the mandate that people had to wear masks, and now that it is highly suggested, people have found many ways to make them and wear them. For example, they have either called someone that they know who can make it to make some for them, they have bought some from the store, or they have wore things like bandanas around their mouths as a mask. Second of all, I've heard that people have parades to celebrate something big in someone's life, like a parade or overcoming cancer or this virus. So people have been very creative in this process, and they are trying to make the best out of the situation that has come.
All around the country, we have seen dedication from frontline workers. Nurses, delivery drivers, utility workers, grocery store employees, and so many others in our community have been dedicated to their work. They've given it their all to keep their community safe and make sure we have what we need. These workers often put others before themselves. We must stay inside, but they go to work risking their lives every day to make sure we have what we need to keep us healthy and things running smoothly all around us. Thank you, all frontline workers who are so dedicated to their work.
People are being so much kinder to each other. Ever since the stay-at-home order was put in place, many people have been supporting and looking after each other. I've seen birthday drive-bys, surprise doorbell drop-offs, people delivering groceries for those who can't, and so much more. I've even sent and received Happy Mail from friends and family, to and from friends and family. Quarantine has really shown people how kindness affects others around them.
I found that one of my greatest responsibilities as an educator is that I have to listen to our kids. And not just when they're hungry, because, oh man, they are hungry a lot. They've only been in this world for such a small time, and yet they have big ideas, and they have emotions, and I think it's really important to hear those.